You're listening to The Manning Report with your host, James David Manning. The news behind the headlines.
You've heard Pastor Manning state many times that Tribulation Trump will commit suicide. And so even as we're watching this impeachment, and again, more and more people are in favor of him being impeached, including many people in the GOP, what is he going to do? How is he going to deal with this? Obviously, Tribulation Trump is very upset, and that's what I want to talk about next, as he was at a press conference with the president of Finland, and he was asked a series of questions by a reporter specifically about Ukraine. Now, Tribulation Trump is furious because he's angry at the whistleblower. He wants to know who the whistleblower is, and though you may hear him make statements that we need to protect the whistleblowers, he's very upset. He's angry. To say that he's upset is an understatement. He's furious at this whistleblower. And he's made some statements against Adam Schiff specifically, and you're going to hear that in this next clip. But this is how angry he is. We know that Tribulation Trump tweets all the time. This past weekend, he sent out 87 tweets. He is angry about the impeachment, and of course, no one's saying that he should not be angry. Who was ever happy as a president of being impeached? But he's angry at this whistleblower again, and he made some statements, and you're starting to showcase he's starting to showcase his fury as he speaks to the press. So let's look at this clip, and I'll be back to share some more comments.
The president seized on a report in the New York Times that the whistleblower sought guidance from the House Intelligence Committee on how to file a complaint. Mr. Trump then accused the committee's chairman, Adam Schiff, of helping write the complaint, a charge he leveled with zero evidence.
Well, I think it's a scandal that he knew before. I go a step further. I think he probably helped write it. Okay? That's what the word is. And I think I give a lot of respect for the New York Times for putting it out.
The president then defended his calls for Schiff to be investigated for treason, still fuming days after the chairman mocked Mr. Trump's phone call with the Ukrainian leader.
Because of the fact that he's lying about the president of the United States and as to what the president says. You know, I believe it or not, I watch my words very carefully. There are those that think I'm a very stable genius, okay? I watch my words very, very closely. And to have somebody get up and to totally fabricate a conversation that I had with another leader and make it sound so bad, it was so evil.
When asked why he raised the issue of former Vice President Joe Biden during the call, Mr. Trump then misstated what happened, insisting it was the Ukrainian president who first brought it up. But that's not true. It was the president who did that.
If you look at what he said, okay, and he brought it up. I think he brought up the name Rudy Giuliani. What I want is the following, and I've said this loud and clear. We have our ambassadors here. We have Mike Pence here. Why are we the only ones that give the big money to the Ukraine?
The president was then pressed by other reporters in the room about Biden.
What did you want about Biden? What did you want him to look into on Biden?
Look, Biden and his son are stone cold crooked, and you know it. His son walks out with millions of dollars. The kid knows nothing.
At that point, the president was blowing his top, blasting Reuters reporter Jeff Mason for his question.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, it was just a follow-up of what I just asked you, sir.
Listen, are you ready? We have the president of Finland. Ask him a question.
I have one for him. I just wanted to follow up on the one that I asked you, which was,
did you hear
what
me?
did you want
Did you hear me?
Yes,
Ask
sir.
him a question.
I will, but
I've given you a long answer. Ask this gentleman a question. Don't be rude.
No, sir, I don't want to be rude. I just wanted you to have a chance to answer the question that I asked you.
I've answered everything. It's a whole hoax. And you know who's playing into the hoax? People like you and the fake news media that we have in this country. And I say in many cases, the corrupt media, because you're corrupt. Much of the media in this country is not just fake, it's corrupt.
You know, I have to say, after viewing that clip, and I've watched it several times now, but when Tribulation Trump makes a statement, "Are you talking to me? You talking to me?" I mean, he sounds exactly like a gangster, without a doubt. This is the so-called president of the United States speaking to a reporter in this way, and all the reporter is doing he's doing his job. He's asking a legitimate question. I mean, you talk about class. Tribulation Trump has no idea what class is whatsoever. He is so brutish. He's such a gangster in his demeanor and his speech that it is quite, again, unbelievable. It is unbelievable to believe that this man sits as the so-called president of the United States. But even more so, when he speaks and he talks about Joe Biden and his son being crooked, it's interesting how the orange orangutan, we used to say the kettle called, black and so forth, but the orange orangutan can call someone else crooked, but yet he doesn't see his own doing. And there are times that I have wondered, sometimes that there are people who are so mentally unstable that they actually believe their own wickedness. They believe their own lies. They don't see their own faults or their shortcomings or their own illness or sickness. And so they actually really do believe. And sometimes I think, is it possible that Tribulation Trump really does believe his lies? When he makes the statement that Adam Schiff, that he lied and he made up all of this conversation between him and the Ukraine leader, did we not look at the transcript? Didn't they put forth the transcript for us to read? Did we not read the transcripts ourselves with our own eyes? And when you were reading, did you not read the part where he asked the Ukrainian leader for a favor in regards to Joe Biden and his son and all of this money that he was given? I mean, again, how stupid do they think the American people are? Every time we have evidence, every time we have something before us, he'll go back and say something completely opposite. And you heard him say again that there are some people who really believe that I'm a stable genius. What the hell is a stable genius? Can somebody please explain that to me? What is a stable genius? And if you're so stable, why do you have to continue to tell people that? It is quite unbelievable that we are living in these days and witnessing these things. I mean, Lord, have mercy. Again, there are times where it really just feels like this is unreal. This is unprecedented. We have never, ever seen anything like what we are witnessing now. We have never heard the kind of things that we are hearing. And again, I understand clearly, we're in the midst of the tribulation. So Sabbath, you should expect these things to happen. The word of God says we're going to hear things that we've never heard. We're going to see things that we've never seen. But to be alive and actually witnessing it with your own eyes and ears is quite amazing. Quite amazing. And so Tribulation Trump is upset. He's very angry. He's angry at Nancy Pelosi. He's angry at the Democrats in general. He's angry at the GOP leaders who are standing up with the Democrats in favor of this impeachment process. He's angry at Maxine Waters, who's made the statements that he needs to be imprisoned and placed in solitary confinement. And again, I know that all of you Trump supporters, I know you're going to have something to say about this. I know you're going to make excuses. What I find very interesting, this is how the truth works. Whenever you speak the truth about anything in general, but whenever the truth is spoken about Tribulation Trump, I noticed that Trump supporters, the only way they respond is by attacking the person. Most of the time, if you read or listen to what they say, they never go exactly at what you've stated, but they go directly to attacking the person because there's nothing that they can say about the statements you've made because it's true. Unless, of course, you want to lie and make excuses to yourself. And so when dealing with people, and I've learned this from dealing with Pastor Manning and watching him speak over the years, how people will always go straight to attacking him as a person, but they won't go directly to the words that he speaks because he's speaking the truth. And what are you going to say against the truth unless you are really mentally unstable? What are you going to say against the truth? And that's how many of Trump's supporters respond, because they know it's the truth.
This is a bit of a news blog we do, looking at spiritual wickedness in high places for the most part, making some observations about it and giving people a biblical foundation to the way of interpreting rather than have Sean Hannity or Laura Ingraham or Janine Pirro or Anderson Cooper or Rachel Maddow or Don Lemon, Rush Limbaugh interpret what's going on in the world. You come to me and I'll tell you based on what the Word of God says. They'll just give you their worldly, sinful view. But the Manning Report will tell you what God has said, whether to say yea or nay, whether to go or to stay. You'll be led by the word of Almighty God. Come to the Manning Report on a daily basis to interpret the spiritual wickedness in high places, because there's plenty of it that's going on. And so I am he. I'm the Lord's servant, James David Righteous Rebel Manning, and I'm here to serve you with news and information.